Yoshi Satsugo, another great addition. Just in his first week, 3 homers. This guy is crazy at the plate, showing so much discipline, long at-bats. That's what we like to see from the FerryHawks. So another beautiful lineup tonight. Brandon Pugh, designated pinch runner. Wish he was in that lineup. He's one of the better hitters for Staten Island. He pinch ran yesterday, so I don't know why he's pinch running again today, not in that lineup. That's something that I'd like to speak with Homer Bush about later to figure out what's going on with Brandon Pugh. On to Lancaster.
All right, so for the visiting Lancaster Barnstormers, leading off, playing second base, Melvin Mercedes. Batting second, playing shortstop, Yasin Coca. Batting third, playing first base, Andretti Cordero. Batting fourth, playing left, Ariel Sandoval. Batting fifth, the DH, Wilson Garcia. Batting sixth, the right fielder, Joseph Carpenter. Batting seventh, playing center field, Shawan Dunson Jr. Batting eighth, the catcher, Anthony Peroni. Batting ninth, Trace Lowry's playing third base, and the designated pinch runner will be Trayvon Robinson.
All right, Eric, thank you again. So that brings up the leadoff hitter, Melvin Mercedes, as that first pitch in for a strike. Here we are underway on this Sunday, August 6th. It's Captain America Day. I did say that there was a special person here, and I saw him on the field just a few minutes ago. That pitch swung on right to first base. Brito will get that one for the first out. So 1 up, 1 down. So Ivan Pinheiro is on the mound. Eric, talk to me about his season stats in his last outing.
So season stats, he's been 15 game starts, 76.2 innings pitched, 36 earned runs over that stretch. And his last start, 6 innings pitched, 6 hits, no earned runs, only 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts.
So a pretty good last start in his last outing. So looking forward to him working on that again here in this matchup. That pitch above the zone, way above the zone for ball 1. The pitch is way inside. 2-0 count here, 1 out in the top of the first inning. So at the plate, Yasin Coca working a 3-0 count. So as fast as one person got out, it's already 3-0, a 3-0 pitch count here. And Ivan Pinheiro working from behind. That pitch in for strike 2, so strike 1 rather. Getting a little excited there. 3-1 count, 1 out here in the top of the first. That pitch placement was right at the bottom right of the zone, in for a beautiful strike. That 4-seam fastball, 82 miles an hour. In for strike 2, so a full count.
This is a good battle by Pinheiro here. You never want to walk a guy early in the game.
Absolutely.
You know, keep that pitch count as low as possible so you can get further on into the matchup.
Don't know what happened there, but my mic accidentally muted itself. But that pitch was swung on, and a ground ball right to the second baseman for out number 2. So here we are, 2 up, 2 down. That pitch, that at-bat rather, was a bit longer than Ivan Pinheiro wanted. You know, right from the gate, he was behind with a 3-0 count, but next 2 pitches, a strike, and then that ground ball worked perfectly for him. So that pitch swung on. That's Andretti Cordero. He's the first baseman for Lancaster. So they're sporting different jerseys than usual, or at least one that I'm not used to. Kind of reminds me of the Reds. So that pitch was nowhere near the strike zone.
Another one inside the zone. Pinheiro. That's the second pitch that we've seen trying to get inside on the batter, nearly hitting them. So if he could control that inside zone, it seems like he's trying to keep the batter's hands in, not allowing him to get, you know, the hands out.
Staten Island usually has struggled with finding the zone, but yesterday, as I was saying, that pitch swung on a high fly ball, but that will get off of a dugout pole, and then into the hands of Chris Brito. So that was an interesting one there. And I don't think I've ever seen it bounce off of that very skinny pole that holds the nets along the dugout. So here we are, 1-2 count on Cordero. Ivan Pinheiro getting set here. going through his pitch arsenal, so a couple nods. That pitch swung on, a chopper in the infield. Pinheiro will field it and get it over there, no problem. So a 1-2-3 inning for Staten Island, 3 up, 3 down, no runs on no hits. So stay with us in just a few moments for the bottom of the first. And welcome back here to SIUH Community Ballpark. We're here in the bottom of the first inning. That will bring up the leadoff hitter for Staten Island. That's Ricardo Cespedes, the center fielder. He's having a great season with us, though he has slowed up a bit in the last few games, but he's back here in the leadoff spot. Haven't seen him there in so long, to be honest, but good to see him back in the leadoff spot. Pitching for Lancasters, that's Dominic DiSaventino, as the first pitch is below the zone there. 90-mile-an-hour sinker. Couldn't get a hold of the zone there, so 1-0. That pitch swung on for strike one, so 1-1 count. It's a beautiful day. I see a couple cruise lines are in the bay, if you will. That pitch swung on. Now, I'm not sure if the Canadian wildfire smoke is making its way into the city, but certainly a little foggy looking at the view of New York City. Something you don't usually see when you're glancing at the city from SIUH. You usually see a clear New York City skyline. That pitch way out inside the zone there, or outside rather. So count here knotted up at 2. That pitch swung on right behind home plate. Peroni not going to be able to get to that one. So talk to me about Ricardo Cespedes. He's a Bronx native.
Yes, Bronx native. He's in his second year with the FerryHawks. Was signed by the Mets as a UDFA in 2013, just at 16 years old, which is crazy, considering that I'm 16 years old, and that's my dream, and I'm nowhere near that level yet. He has 6 MILB seasons with the New York Mets and the Miami Marlins, and was released in 2019 by Miami.
Wow, so he's been around in the minor leagues, a couple different teams, but I don't want to say he's found home with the FerryHawks, but the last 2 years he's been here, he's pretty much been the star here.
Yeah, one of the more notable players,
yeah,
definitely.
The go-to guy in center field for Staten Island. That pitch going to work a walk for Ricardo Cespedes in his first at-bat, so first one up and one on. That will bring up the number 2 spot for Ricardo Cespedes. He homered yesterday, so another second-year FerryHawk. So that last pitch was a slider. Just couldn't quite find the zone there. 84 miles an hour. So Ricardo Cespedes showing some plate discipline. That pitch.
And you talk about another guy that has spent quite some time in the minor leagues. Angel Aguilar spending 8 seasons in the Yankees farm system and played here for the Staten Island Yankees back in 2016 and was named the player of the year last year for the FerryHawks.
So Ricardo Cespedes was, Angel Aguilar was not necessarily with the team in the beginning of the season, but towards that second half, or maybe halfway through the first half, rather, he came back to us, and that was just a smile was on my face because I watching him last season, and then to be able to have him back this season as well really filled a hole in short. So another guy having a monster season with us better. Ricardo Cespedes going for the steal, but he'll have to head back as that pitch was fouled away. A 1-2 count on Angel Aguilar, number 6.
I want to talk about the pitcher for the Barnstormers, DiSabatino. So Pinheiro in the top of the first inning was working inside on batters, trying to jam them, keep their hands in. I've seen the opposite with DiSabatino working outside, mainly on both batters, Cespedes and Aguilar so far.
Absolutely. So a little bit of history between Staten Island and Lancaster. All time, Staten Island's 10-19 against them. We actually do better away than we do at home. That pitch in for strike 3. Ricardo Cespedes will stay at first, but Aguilar will be retired for Yoshi Satsugo to step up to the plate. A FerryHawk that is a Japan native, but having a great first week with Staten Island. I know when he came here, he requested a fat stack pack for each pitcher. And my good friend Tyler in the other room's always been getting him that. Really, really big stack pack. I can't express enough. The pitcher was going to throw that one to first, try and catch Ricardo Cespedes out, but he'll go back in just a nick of time. Satsugo getting set. But anyways, back to the history. Away, they're 7-11 all-time against Lancaster. And at home, they're only 3-8. But this second half of the season, we're doing better against Lancaster than we usually do. We're 3-2 against them in the short time that we've seen them here in the second half. So we have a chance to be 4-2 tonight in this rubber match. An 0-1 count on Satsugo. Ricardo Cespedes going to steal. The throw is not in time. A steal for Ricardo Cespedes. He'll make it there safely. So that will avoid the double play thanks to a speedy Ricardo Cespedes.
Great jump right there by Cespedes. He had a huge lead over at first. Pitcher didn't take any looks at him, really, and allowed him to get there just in time.
And that pitch had no chance of being a strike there. 83-mile-an-hour changeup. I think Yoshi Satsugo might have the best plate discipline on the team. He's having deep counts. That pitch in for a ball, so 2-1. So he's been having deep at-bats, really lengthening the opposing pitcher's pitch count.
And as a pitcher, you don't like to face guys with great discipline because they take you deep into the count, and it's just adding more and more pitches to your pitch count, which means that you exit the game earlier than you'd like to.
That pitch was swung on, ripped foul. So a 2-2 count, knotted up at 2, 1 out, a 1 runner on. That's Ricardo Cespedes. He's at second. 15 pitches here in the bottom of the first. DiSabatino, one of the pitchers that struggles for Lancaster. Talking about his ERA, it looks a little high. That pitch way outside. 3-2, so full count for Yoshi Satsugo.
DiSabatino with the 6.02 ERA this season.
16 pitches away. Ricardo Cespedes looking to steal third. It's going to be a wild pitch. Ricardo Cespedes was rounding third, but he'll stay there, as that pitch would have been there in time, so he might have got out there, but smart base running by Ricardo. So runners at the corner here with 1 out for a power hitter. Chris Brito. Now I'm going to give Eric a chance to pull up his player profile. This is his first game broadcasting, and Sori's doing a great job. I just got to say that. But I want you to pull up Chris Brito's player profile because, my goodness, he has a crazy one. He spent his college career with Rutgers, and he's achieved some stuff there. Talk to me about that.
Well, he's got the career. The first thing that popped up to me was he has the Rutgers career home run record with 46 and the RBI record with just exactly 200 on the dot. So, I mean, this is a power bat, and with a runner in scoring position, this is the guy you want.
That pitch swung on, sent deep to center field, and God, it's a home run. He sent that one to Lady Liberty. My goodness, I didn't mean to cut you off there. But as we were just saying, a power hitter comes up for the team, and there it is. It's a 3-0 ball game already in the top of the first inning with just 1 out. So this inning is going to extend for even longer.
And that pitch right on the outside corner, and I said that's the guy you don't want with runners in scoring position, but it looks like you don't even need people in running in scoring position because he's going to do a job anyway. And he just went the other way. Nice outside pitch.
Absolutely. That one was 100.3 miles off of the bat there. That was crazy. That pitch outside for ball 1. I see a strike on the scoreboard there. Gonna have to wait for confirmation. That pitch swung on, high fly ball into the opposing dugout. No one was able to get there, so that will be strike 1. So we have a little stat section on our game notes. It's called the home run leaders. Hawk City leaders. We talk about the home run leaders and the RBI leaders. Chris Brito isn't there yet because he hasn't spent too much time with the team, but he's climbing the ranks. He might actually catch Rodani Baldwin. He's got 9 homers, as Rodani Baldwin will send that ground ball to the third baseman. He'll be retired at first, so 2 outs. Luis Castro looking to extend the inning as he steps up in the batter's box. But anyways, Rodani Baldwin, he's got 38 RBIs and 9 homers. Brito is looking to replace him on that list, I guess, after that 3-run shot. The pitch, he'll take it. But that's in for a strike, so 0-1. High first inning pitch count for DiSabantino, 21 pitches.
That's what happens when you have disciplined batters at the plate.
Castro, he'll swing and miss on that one. So ironic how we just said discipline at the plate,
yeah.
But that pitch would have been a strike anyways. It was top of the zone, though, so could have went either way. So might actually been smart to swing at that one, but 0-2 count already here. The Venezuela native will get hit by the pitch, so the inning will extend.
Just trouble with the walks here for DiSabantino. And I want to go back to what you talked about, swinging at the, being disciplined, and then he swung. Questionable ball or strike call, but when your team, you have a hot first inning, you just want to keep adding on to the offense. So a little bit of an aggressive.
Antsy, I got you there.
Little aggression.
So, Eric, I know you play baseball. I actually never was fortunate enough to play baseball, but when do you think, I know you're a third baseman, Castro's going to go to steal third. And he'll get thrown out. Looks like the second baseman, Mercedes, was able to get his foot there. It was a bad throw from the plate, though, but somehow able to turn that play. So 3-0 here in the bottom of the first. Stay with us as we head to the top of the second. And welcome back to SIUH Community Ballpark. It's a 3-0 ball game here in the top of the second. Staten Island winning this one. I think it's because Captain America's here, really bringing up the patriotism here at the ballpark. That pitch outside the zone there.
Little quick pitch there by Pinheiro.
You know, that's something that's hard to do with the pitch count, the pitch clock rather.
Yeah.
One of the things that's been implemented here in the Atlantic League. A little fun fact about the Atlantic League. There's a partnership with, that pitch swung on, fouled away, so 0-2. Or is it 1? Yep, 0-2. Okay. Got to pay attention to that pitch count there on my end. So the Atlantic League partners with the MLB. It's almost like we're a test league. MLB will test out some rules here. So the pitch clock was initially tested in this league. I don't know if you're familiar with the robo umpire.
I've heard some things about it.
Yeah, that was something that was tested out in this league. I don't think it worked out exactly, so we don't really see that this season. And that pitch swung on a high fly ball in the infield. Should be a can of corns for Chris Breer, or not. That's going to drop in the infield. Wait for the ref's call there.
Lost it in the sun. That's a killer. On days like this.
Looks like they'll call that foul. I said Farrell. That was both of our high schools that we went to. Well, I went to. He still goes there. Eric entering his junior year.
Yes.
Awesome. Great school. Not promoting it, but definitely look into it if you're looking to go to a nice high school. So 1-2 count, Ivan Pinheiro. He'll throw that. Another infield ball. Should be caught no problem by Garrett Quabar, the second baseman.
And good job by Pinheiro. Not many strikeouts, not many swings and misses, but he's pitched it to contact. Got 3 straight groundouts in the first inning and starts off the second with a weak pop out to the second baseman.
Absolutely. So Ivan Pinheiro looking good in his first 2 innings. 1 up, 1 down here. That pitch outside. It's Wilson Garcia at the plate. He'll swing at that one deep to right field. It's going back, and it's gone. Another home run here, so they'll trade home runs, but this one's going to be a solo shot. I wasn't sure if that was gone, so I was silent for a second, but that was a high fly ball. Just went back for the homer.
And that's going to put Garcia at 3 for 9 in this series. That's his second home run, actually, along with a double that he hit earlier in the series.
So that's a power hitter for the team. That went 377 feet into the harbor.
It's like playing at San Francisco into McCovey Cove.
Yeah. One of the better views in baseball. I think I actually might have, in any baseball stadium, this might be my top 5.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely better. I hate to say this as a Yankees fan. I think this is better than Yankees. There is no view at Yankee Stadium. That pitch swung on a chopper to Quabar and over to Chris Breedall for out number 2. So a 3-1 ball game here. Lancaster looking to shortening that lead that Staten Island has on them. So a 2-lead ball game for the FerryHawks.
Sometimes all you need is that one little hit to spark the offense, get something going. Hopefully they could keep that momentum or build something off of that home run into the later stages of this game.
Yeah, sometimes in baseball, that's all you need. You need one guy to get the scoring open, and that's all you need. So that pitch is going to be swung on, swing and a miss. A nasty 84-mile-an-hour sinker from Pinheiro.
And a heavy hack right there by Dunston.
Looks like he was swinging for the trees. 1-2 count here. 2 outs, no runners on. So they'll avoid a shutout after they were scoreless yesterday, Lancaster. That pitch swung on. A ground ball, but rips foul, almost went into their Lancaster's dugout. So this weekend was a crazy weekend for Staten Island. You know, you had Italian Heritage, now you have Captain America's here. Next week might just be even crazier. That pitch in the dirt, 2-2. So next weekend, Southern Maryland is going to visit us starting Friday through Sunday, but the Banana Bowl, actually, I'm not sure if we're playing Southern Maryland on Friday yet. A little confused with how the schedule works on this one, but I think there's one day that the Banana Bowl is playing, and it's just a Banana Bowl, so we're going to find out on that one. That pitch is going to be a ball, so Lancaster will work the walk there. But anyone that's a fan of the Banana Bowl is going to want to be here, but it might just be hard to get a ticket.
Oh, I'm excited for this. I hope I can get a ticket to Savannah.
Yeah, you might want to look on, what's that app called? Ticketmaster. I don't know if they're reselling tickets, but I know one of the days is sold out.
Wow.
So, yeah. That pitch swung on, but not swung on. I'm losing my voice here. I'm not sure who that is at second, but he got the steal there, no problem. Baldwin was unable to get that ball in time over to Quabar.
That would be Shawan Dunston on the bases. The throw, he's got some speed. The throw wasn't even close.
You know, that speed is something I haven't seen in a while from the shortstop that started with us this season. That was Jeff Weller. So Piñeiro's going to look over to second base.
And you can tell Dunston's just a threat because now Piñeiro's giving him some looks over at second base.
Don't want him to steal another base. That pitch swung on. It's going to be a wild pitch. Baldwin unable to field that, or block it rather. Dunston going to be able to get to third, no problem.
Piñeiro looking a little shaky right now. Gave up the home run, got an out right after it, but a walk, and now he's having some trouble facing this batter. A little wild.
Losing a bit of the zone there.
Yeah.
Ever since that homer, as you were saying. 31 pitches here in the top second. You know, he had a low pitch count in the first, but this one just deep into his pitch count here. That pitch is not in the zone. That's a 2-1 count. Dunston taking a bit of a lead, looking to make this the tying runs at the plate. So, and 2-2 count here. Knotted up at 2 outs. Runner on, that's Dunston, and he is at third.
This is a big pitch by Piñeiro. You want to get out of here with either a strikeout, ground, any type of out. You just want to get out, get your team back on offense.
The last thing you want to do is give up well, originally it was a 3-0 lead, but now it's 3-1, so you don't want two more runners to score here. So just one out is needed to get out of an inning, trying to avoid more damage, Piñeiro. 33 pitches here in the top of the second. That was a sinker. Just missed the zone there. Full count is another walk. So runners at the corner for the number 9 hitter, Trace Lower. He's the third baseman. So I wanted to ask you this before when DiSabantino was struggling to pitch. As a third baseman, I know you're not a pitcher, but when do you think is the right time for a little mound visit?
Well, it honestly depends on the pitcher. Some guys, you got to let them figure it out themselves. They don't like, to have a long pause in the game. But if you see your guy really struggling, walking guys consistently, you want to just go out there, check on him, give him a rest, maybe, calm him down a little bit, especially if he's moving too fast.
Now, like I said, I have not played baseball before. I don't really know how to manage a baseball team, but I'm thinking maybe Ivan Piñeiro could use a little bit of a timeout here. After letting up a homer and then struggling to find the zone since then, you might want to maybe roll Donnie Bow and go over, check on him.
Definitely. He's seeming a little stressed right now.
0-2 count, though. He'll swing at that one. Rips foul. So with runners at the corner, Ivan Piñeiro can avoid more damage here. Looking for a strikeout, looking for a pop-up. That's outside the plate, so a little 1-2 count. It looks like he's finding the zone with four-seam fastballs, no problem, but when he's doing changeups, breaking balls, he's not finding the zone.
And that could be tough to pitch like that, especially getting through deep parts of the game, as this one's hit to left field. But Satsugo will get under it, and Pinheiro gets his out.
So Satsugo escapes with the last out. Ivan Pinheiro able to minimize damage there. So a 3-1 ball game here at SIUH Community Ballpark. Stay with us. And welcome back to SIUH Community Ballpark. We're here in the bottom of the second. Here's the power hitter for the team. I know I said that before with Chris Brito, but this guy, the home run leader and RBI leader, is that pitch a ball, 1-0. So I spoke with Elliot. He homered last night along with Aguilar and Satsugo. I was only able to speak with Elliot, though. So I talked to him, as the home run leader, as the RBI leader, what are you doing differently at the plate? Take us through your mindset of an approach to each at-bat. That pitch in for ball. So DiSabantino, the struggles will carry over into this inning as the first at-bat of 3-0 ball count. He's working from behind. Anyways, Elliot, he said he's actually struggled with the breaking balls and changeups all season. And sometimes, just as we saw in that example, that was a sinker. Anything that's pretty much not a fastball, he just wafts at, and he needs to work on that plate discipline a bit more. That's why we see a bit of a high strikeout number from him. But he'll work a walk here, so he does show some plate discipline. So first batter up is a first batter on.
We got to keep talking about more stats, because it seems like every time we talk about something, plate discipline, we get a walk. We talked about homers before, we get a home run. We got to keep this going.
Yeah, I don't want to stop doing this now, because every time we do it, they just show off. They're like, I hear you in the booth. But, yeah, Elliot just, in that homer yesterday, cleared his mind, worked on that plate discipline. He didn't sit on any pitch particular, but he saw the pitch he wanted, and he swung at it and exited the yard. He actually said he wasn't sure that one was going to exit the yard, but he was just patient. That pitch in for strike one, a 1-1 count on Cuellar, the California native.
Yeah, and sometimes we want to go back to you talking about the home run with Elliott. Home runs are accidents. Every coach will tell you that home runs are accidents. You never try to go for the jack. You just try to get line drives up the middle, and the home runs will come.
Yeah, it's just the guy that got lucky on a bad pitch.
Exactly.
Sometimes. That pitch was swung on a 1-2 count. Speaking of bad pitching, Carlos Rodon today, struggles have continued with the Yankees. It seemed like a good offseason move for the team, but injured in the preseason, and then injured again today. He left the mound after letting up two big homers, actually. Cuellar is going to be retired. That brings up number 38, Bobby Sparling, the DH. So Carlos Rodon, he'll exit the mound today with tightness in his calf, I believe, or hamstring. So he didn't look too good on the mound today. So Yankees pitching rotations just damaged this season.
And it seems like that was a theme for all New York sports because the two acquisitions that the Mets also got for pitching, Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander, they didn't really end up having the season that everybody pictured they would have. So definitely going to be some work for both New York teams.
Absolutely.
Pitching-wise.
Mets may not have a chance to make the postseason. That one is going to be extremely difficult. Yankees, though, about 2.5 games back, maybe 3 or 4 by now. The last time I checked, 2.5 games back from the wild card spot. They have a chance, but with a pitching rotation like this, it's just fading. So Bobby Sparling's at the plate, something that's not in his player profile, but I found out the other day, if he did not go to college to play professional baseball, what career do you think he was going to be?
I'm not sure.
So I don't think anyone would have guessed this, but Bobby Sparling, I believe he would have went to a ministry and become a minister. The rumor has it. I want to speak to him about that, get more information on that, but he seems to be very involved in his religion, and I believe his walk-up song is a religious one as well.
You love to hear that.
Absolutely.
It's a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful thing for people to be involved in their faith, in their culture, and then to be proud of it. That pitch swung on. He'll be retired. So next to the first batter, he'll get on with a walk, and then Quaybar, Sparling, they'll get retired pretty easily with a strikeout. So maybe Sabatino has found his zone here.
As one pitcher lost it, Pinheiro, he started to lose it. Now we're seeing DiSabatino starting to get it back a little bit as he faces Ricardo Cespedes, who walked in his first at-bat.
That pitch swung on deep to right field. Is it gone? Caught at the warning track by Carpenter. So one thing about home runs here in the ballpark, it's never guaranteed because of the wind speeds from the harbor. So that one could have been gone in Yankee Stadium, could have been gone in Citi Field, but not here because of that wind from the harbor. So still a 3-1 ball game headed into the top of the third inning. Stay with us. And welcome back to SIUH Community Ballpark. We're here in the top of the third inning, a 3-1 ball game. Staten Island's on top of this one. As that first pitch in for strike one. So Pinheiro able to find the zone in this first pitch, something he struggled with last inning. So I just got a text from one of the owners, and he did let me know that both games are sold out for the Staten Island Bananas, the Savannah Bananas. I guess you can call them the Staten Island Bananas because they will be at Staten Island. So 1-1 count. on Melvin Mercedes. So the top of the lineup, the 1, 2, and 3 batters will face Ivan Pinheiro.
Mercedes is 2 for 7 this series. Looking to get another one here as he grounded out in his first at-bat back in the first inning.
And to confirm as well, the Friday game is just going to be a Savannah Bananas game. As that pitch swung on, but in foul territory, so 2-2 count still. So Friday will be the 11th is going to be a Banana Bowl, and then Saturday a doubleheader. So that's always good content to come over here, watch the Savannah Bananas, and then stay as well. Purchase your ticket for the Staten Island FerryHawks. They'll face Southern Maryland. So a 3-2 count, full count for Melvin Mercedes. Ivan Pinheiro will deal that one, but it rips foul.
Good battle there by Mercedes. Just throw the bat out. When in, don't know if it's a ball, don't know if it's a strike, just get it out there.
That pitch swung on off of the pitcher's mound, through for a base hit. Cespedes will field this one to keep Mercedes at first. So that brings up the number 2 hitter, Jason Coca. So here we are on the second time that the rotation flips over, the batting lineup rather. And he was able to do a 1-2-3 inning against them at first, but this one, a little bit of a deep pitch at bat. Mercedes able to work a walk. That pitch swung on straight to the first baseman. Is it going to be a double play? Yes. No, it won't. So he'll retire Melvin Mercedes at second, but he'll keep the runner Jason Coca at first. He'll be safe, reach safely. That was a quick at-bat.
Pitcher's best friend right there. Ground ball with the man on first. Didn't get the double play, but at least you got one.
Absolutely, that's what you want to see. You want to see the balls, if they're going to be in play, you want them in the infield. Obviously, not shallow infield for the bunts, but keep them ground balls to the infield, make the double plays easy, or the singles will be able to get them out.
Bat to the pitcher.
That pitch swung on. It's going to be shallow center field. Cespedes racing to get that one. Quabar unable to come away with that one. He looked up. He thought Cespedes was going to have it. So a bit of a bloop that will likely be ruled an error for Staten Island. Yep, the error is on the board. So Mercedes is at second. Coca retired. Cordero at first. So here we are, 51 pitches for Ivan Pinheiro as he'll face the number 5 batter, or number 4 rather, Ariel Sandoval.
High pitch counts for both starting pitchers here. It's going to be a bullpen match.
Absolutely. That pitch swung on straight to third base. He'll get the forced out at third, over to the first. No problem. So a double play to end the inning. It's a 3-1 ball game still. So Ivan Pinheiro getting a bit of a second chance, if you will. So here we are about to face the bottom of the third. Stay with us. welcome back here to SIUH Community Ballpark. It's the bottom of the third inning, a 3-1 ball game as Angel Aguilar, the number 2 hitter for Staten Island, will step up to the plate for Lancaster's pitcher, DiSabantino. The pitch is inside for ball 1.
Aguilar 0 for 1 via the strikeout looking.
Something you don't want to see on that stat sheet. If you're going to get a strikeout, you don't want it to be a backwards K. That pitch swung on a chopper to the infield. Third baseman will field that one. Recorded for the out at first. So 1 up, 1 down. That brings up Yoshi Satsugo.
Interesting fact about Satsugo here. He spent some time in the MLB playing for the Tampa Bay Rays, the Los Angeles Dodgers, and the Pittsburgh Pirates. So he's been around the major leagues a little bit. Originally born in Japan.
I know he spent time with the Rays in 2020, I believe, when they made it to the World Series. Was that against the Dodgers? That pitch swung on, fouled away.
Aggressive hack there by Satsugo. 1-2 count. So after a shaky start by DiSabantino on the first, he seems to recollect himself here as the 1-2 is outside. Changeup. Got some noise there from the crowd. The 2-2 is swung on and missed, strike 3. So Satsugo goes down. The 4th strikeout for DiSabantino this game. And now the man who has driven in all 3 runs for the FerryHawks, Chris Brito, is up. Had a Oppo Taco 3-run home run back in the first. And the first pitch is right down a little bit inside, strike 1, sinker. Definitely a favorable pitch of DiSabantino here. The 0-1 is outside. We talked a little bit before in the last inning about the wind blowing. And I don't know how Brito hit that ball out. He hit it opposite field as the wind was blowing in, and somehow he was strong enough to put it out there as he takes ball 2 outside.
Yeah, Brito, one of those guys that works against the wind. That one, another deep ball to center field. Is it back? It is another home run for Chris Brito. His first 2 at-bats is going to be a homer. This one a solo shot, but my goodness, every time we talk about power, it just exits the yard. It's crazy.
The deepest part of the ballpark, too, to center field. Good effort by the center fielder, Dunston. But this one was just hit too far.
Man, really hard to hit a homer to center field beyond the batter's eye, too. So, my goodness.
With the wind blowing in as well.
My goodness. It was a 92-mile-an-hour pitch. Wasn't able to catch the ball, what type it was there. But
sinker.
It was a sinker, absolutely. So, 391 feet. And guess this one. This is considered elite. Exit velo, even the MLB. If there's a red diamond next to that pitch, that one swung on high, fly ball from Rodani Baldwin. The shortstop should feel this one, no problem. That's Coca to put him away. But anyways, this is considered elite, 104.9 exit velo. So that's crazy. So thanks to a home run from Chris Brito, the lead extends for Staten Island. It's a 4-1 ball game. And welcome back to SIUH Community Ballpark. The first pitch of this inning, they beat me to it. That pitch in for a strike. So that's what we like to see when it's the first pitch. You want it in for a strike to start the inning. That one swung on deep to left field. And, that's going to, I thought it was actually going to exit for a ground rule double. Who is that in left field? That's Yoshi. Unable to field that one over his head.
I believe that was a ground rule double. The umpire put his hand up signaling that the play was dead. And it seemed like the ball bounced over.
So it looks like they're going to bring in the designated pinch runner, Trayvon Robinson, number 21.
And for Garcia, that's his second double. He homered earlier in the first inning. So he's got 2 doubles, 2 home runs, which puts him at, that would be 4 for 10. So batting .400 in this series, not bad.
Wow. So at the plate now, that's Garcia. So here's something. They're 0 for 2 tonight with runners in scoring positions. It was just the homer that they score on that one. Another deep fly ball. Cespedes is going to get an error on that one. How could he not field that? I'm not sure. That's going to allow 1 run to score, but he'll get thrown out. A beautifully thrown ball from Angel Aguilar, who had the cutoff, and nicely done by, I believe Baldwin caught him out.
Didn't seem like Robinson was running fast enough. As I was watching them run. Carpenter was right behind him on his tail, and he got that was a far throw. So Aguilar was pretty far out there in the outfield.
Yeah. So Cespedes did not get the error on that one. That was over his head, and I guess not in his glove. So he won't get the error. That will be ruled a single, or a triple. Could have been a RBI triple actually, but wow. So that pitch in for a ball. So that's not something you want to see from a designated pinch runner. You want to see a guy with speed and then a guy that has discipline with base running, but that should have been an easy run. Here we are, 2-0. First 2 pitches in for balls.
I don't want to say that should have been an easy run because I'm not considered the fastest guy out there, so I don't know if I would have made it either.
Well, let's say for a designated pinch runner, that one deep to right field, so 3 batters in a row, straight to the outfield. The right fielder is going to field that one. 1 run will score. It's a triple, and he'll be thrown out.
I don't know about that one.
That was questionable. I thought he got there no problem. Third base coach is going to argue with the third base ump on that one.
Definitely a close call.
I don't think he should have been making the call from there. He should have been on the other side. That's a hard call to make from where he was. But he'll be retired for the second out. So the base running struggles continue. Or is it base running struggles, or is it good fielding? I think it might just be a mixture of both. That pitch fouled behind home plate.
The relays are definitely on point for the FerryHawks so far in this one.
That was Luis Castro that fielded that one, hit off the wall. So Lancaster's playing wall ball this inning. That's something you see at the Red Sox. They love to play wall ball.
Yeah.
And these are short walls here too, so those could have been homers.
Nasty, nasty sinker right there by Pinheiro.
So a 4-2 ball game. Is Lancaster able to score? The pitch is outside the plate. 2-2 count.
And I mentioned earlier, Pinheiro was walking guys, trying to pitch around them. Now he's starting to pitch to contact. Maybe a little too much contact, but he's got 2 outs so far and only 1 run. As he throws a changeup this time after a healthy diet of sinkers.
I'm going to look up the Red City Connects because that pitch swung on another one to left field. Yoshi able to field this one after the last one went over his head for the ground rule double, but he'll come away with that out to exit the inning. Ivan Pinheiro escapes with minimal damage as only 1 run will score. That's a 4-2 ball game. FerryHawks on top. And welcome back to SIUH Community Ballpark. That's Luis Castro stepping to the plate. It's a 4-2 ball game thanks to a Chris Brito home run. FerryHawks extend their lead, but it goes right back to how it was before because Lancaster able to score 1 run in the top of the 4th. That pitch swung on. That'll be fouled behind home plate. So I just got a push notification from the MLB. This is something that's never been done before in MLB history until today. The first 3 MLB games have 9 hits, including 2 homers. So that is a random stat. Something the MLB has done since COVID is just pull up random stats. That pitch swung on. It's going to be shallow right field. No problem for Carpenter. He'll stay under that one to retire leadoff hitter Luis Castro.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of those random stats. You ever see like those crazy ones that are just like, how did you even like come up with this stuff? What do you even think about?
You know what it is, and it's going into my sophomore year in college, I took a statistics class, and I took I guess you could say it's data journalism or investigative journalism class. As this pitch swung on, another one deep into left field, but before the warning track, Sandoval gonna field that one, so the first 2 batters retired. But anyways, so my investigative journalism and my data journalism class have taught me that everyone loves Excel. Why? Because you can create a stat sheet and pull up random facts. So I could just go on the MLB research tool, pull the all stats of Yankees history, put it into Excel, and then make up a random stat. Like if I wanted to find out how the Yankees do on a full count in the 8th inning, I could just like pull up that stat by using an Excel formula. So it's just crazy. I guess someone in the MLB just randomly decided, hey, let's start doing this. And then they just pull up random stats.
It's amazing what technology can do these days.
Yeah, that pitch in for ball 2, so it should be a 2-0 count on Garrett Quaber.
Quaber looking to get on the board here. Struck out in his first at-bat, swinging.
So Quabar, 2-1 count, 2 outs, first 2 batters retired.
It's one of the faster innings that we've seen so far in today's game.
DiSabatino usually struggles on the mound in the first 3 or so innings, but this one, finding the zone And then FerryHawks jumping at the pitchers, being a bit aggressive and coming up short, deep fly balls. That pitch hit against one of the sweets, actually, for foul 3-2 count, full count on Quaybar. That pitch swung on. So a 1-2-3 inning for D. Sabatino, a bounce back inning. So 3 runners up, 3 runners down. It's still a 4-2 ball game. And welcome back to SIUH Community Ballpark. It is a 4-2 ball game, and that first pitch in for strike one. Ivan Pinheiro, 2 innings in a row, will find the strike zone in the first pitch. That one swung on deep to right field. Luis Castro stumbling, but caught it for out number 1. Leadoff hitter is retired. That brings up number 3 for Lexington, Lancaster rather. Melvin Mercedes. I think in his player profile it said his number is number 4, but he's sporting number 3 today. That pitch in for strike 1, 1-1 count. A push notification from MLB. That one's a chopper in the infield. Aguilar going to field that one. Can it get in time? It will, to retire Mercedes. So Yasin Coca looks to extend this inning. But a push notification from MLB just announced that the Mets lose to the Astros 9-7. Yankees lose to the Astros. I think I might have accidentally said the Mets. So there's your New York baseball report. Ivan Pinheiro deals the pitch in for strike 1. That's 3 consecutive batters with the first pitch in for a strike. Pinheiro finds the zone. That pitch swung on. Quaybar catches it for out number 3. A 1-2-3 inning. Not messing around here at SIUH Community Ballpark. The defense on point for the FerryHawks. Still a 4-2 ball game as we head into the bottom of the 5th. Stay with us. Bottom of the 4th. Or 5th. And welcome back to SIUH Community Ballpark. 1-2-3 inning for Pinheiro as he stepped on the mound for the 5th inning. So Staten Island will avoid the double hook rule. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Bobby Sparling steps up to lead off for Staten Island. He'll take the first pitch in for a strike. So the double hook rule, for those that don't know, your pitcher needs to go 5 innings. If he doesn't, or she, what happens is you lose your DH. So that's a new rule in the Atlantic League. It's interesting. A lot of mixed thoughts about it. You don't want to lose your DH in a game. I know when Yoshi Satsugo first came to the team, he was DH for a little while, and that was a guy that we did not want to lose. So you want your guy to go 5 innings deep, or else you lose your DH. That's a weird rule, but every team in the Atlantic League is rocking that rule so far. So
wait, so let me ask you a question about that rule. As this one's hit to left field, but left fielder has a play on it near the line, makes the play. So you lose the DH if the pitcher doesn't go a certain amount of innings, but what happens then after when the lineup gets to that spot? Is it an automatic out, or do we just bat with 8 guys on the lineup?
So it's a bit of take you back to the National League rules before the pitchers were not allowed to hit. Your pitcher, or well, I mean, they still are allowed to hit, I guess, but because you have Shohei Ohtani, but your pitcher then replaces your DH, whichever pitcher is on the mound. So pitchers in the Atlantic League aren't necessarily the greatest hitters, and they usually take a lot of pitches to avoid swinging, avoid injuries. So it's kind of just an automatic out.
All right, respect. Understandable.
That pitch swung on. It's going to be sent to the left fielder. He'll get under it, no problem, to retire Ricardo Cespedes. That was Sandoval. Cespedes now 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. Here's Angel Aguilar. So in the through 5 innings, we're nearing the 3rd appearance from the FerryHawks, so they're on a good pace here.
And the offense has slowed down a little bit, though, since the 1st inning. I know it's hard to follow up a 3-run inning as this one's fouled back. They had an explosive 1st inning with the home run by Brito, and I was expecting them to build off of that, keep the offense going, but it slowed down a bit. They did get another home run.
So in 2022, last year, he had a 297 average. So Aguilar is improving on that. I mean, he has a 303 average this season. So
what did you say his numbers were last?
Last season, Aguilar was batting 297 and an on-base percentage of 365.
Some good numbers right there.
Yeah, 124 hits, 29 doubles, 14 homers, and 58 RBIs. And in this season, Aguilar is tied his home run numbers. Last night, he actually tied it to 14. So 2-2 count on Ricardo. It's knotted up at 2 everywhere. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. So 1 homer would set a new record as a FerryHawk home run record for Angel Aguilar. It's going to be a full count. By the way, I just had one of the best hot dogs I've ever had in my life. I'm not even joking about that. Not even trying to promote like the FerryHawks food here, but they have some good food. That hot dog was amazing.
Yeah, these chicken tenders are pretty good. As DiSabatino loses control, 3 straight changeups, 3 straight balls, so he'll walk Aguilar and put up Satsugo. So
both leadoff. So the leadoff hitter, Ricardo Cespedes, and the number 2 batter for Staten Island, Angel Aguilar. They're 0 for 2 with a walk tonight, just coincidentally. I think Aguilar is friends with the guy at first base, Cordero, because they would just looks like they were clowning around with each other for a second there. So Yoshi Satsugo, he'll take the first pitch. Seems to do that a lot. Now, I'm sure MLB would have posted that that stat 50-something percent of the times Yatsugo will take the first pitch.
I'd like to see him slap one down the third base line right now. Third baseman's playing way off
Absolutely.
in the shortstop position.
Nice Amazon. If it hits off the Amazon poster there, that would take some time for the right fielder to get there. That's Carpenter. So 2-0 count. Here's the guy with the eye. That's Yoshi Satsugo. The pitch is swung on. There it is, deep to right field. Is it gone? Yes, it is. Another home run for Staten Island. My goodness, 2 days in a row for Yoshi Satsugo. This guy's having a season. It's just his first week with the team. It's his 4th home run. My goodness. A 2-run shot.
I must say, Mike, we're on a roll today calling things.
I can't.
Was that the third home run we've called tonight?
This is crazy. Every time we talk about plate discipline, power, a home run, it's gone. That one was a no-doubter. You just said send one to right field. The right fielder's not even really deep into right field. He's playing shallow, and that one was gone.
And that pitch, a sinker just right down the plate.
6-2 ball game, man.
DiSabatino, I've noticed just now, his changeup has not been able to get it in the zone. It's been very off. Cannot control it. So the sinker was just right down the pipe. And
absolutely. There's Chris Brito, the home run leader at Rutgers University. He homered twice in this game so far.
You got a chance to see the home run cycle. He's got a solo shot, a 3-run. We just need a 2-run and a grand slam, but can't get that here with nobody on.
So Satsugo, 4 homers in just 1 week. Chris Brito, 5 homers this season in just the first month. Well, first month and a half, rather. He's been with the team since the MLB draft. And it looks like the MLB lost out. He entered the draft, and they lost out on such a great player. I will not be surprised if Brito, by the end of the season, signs with a minor league contract, work his way up to the majors. That pitch swung on, not swung on. He'll take it, and he'll work a walk. So with the walk, that brings up Rodani Baldwin. I'm like going crazy right now. I've never seen this many home runs at SIUH Community Ballpark in one game, or at least a game that I've called. So a 6-2 ball game in the 5th inning. This is amazing. I'm very excited here.
I think I got to do more games. I think it's me, to be honest. It's my first game.
It might just have to be the pair of us, because it's just every time I say something or you say something about power hitting and whatnot, it's gone. So Brito, he works a walk. His perfect plate appearance continues. 2 for 2 with a walk. Both homers.
Here comes the mound visit that we talked about way early in this game, about the 2nd inning.
Could have been used maybe a little earlier.
This was... Umpire went out.
To break that one up. So we were talking about this before. The jerseys reminded us of the Reds. We weren't quite sure which one it was, because I thought for a second it was City Connects, but I forgot that was all black. These remind me of the alternate, the away jerseys for the Reds, except that blue patch, and we looked it up. It's a sponsorship?
It is a sponsorship for Goodwill Keystone, which is a nonprofit organization in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, as it's a fly ball to center. That'll put the inning away, but not before Satsugo extends the FerryHawks lead to 6-2 with the 2-run bomb to right field.
Stole the words right out of my mouth. Not before that 2-run bomb, after we were talking about power and plate discipline. FerryHawks looking beautiful today. 6-2 ball game as we head to the top of the 6th. And welcome back to SIUH Community Ballpark. We're here at the top of the sixth inning, a 6-2 ball game, thanks to a Yoshi Satsugo ball. That was a 2-run shot.
Yes, it was.
That's beautiful.
Right field, right by the flagpoles.
Yeah, I think it was in between two of the flags there. The first pitch in for a strike. That's 3 consecutive innings where Pinheiro has found the zone in the first pitch as number 12, and Deti Cordero steps up to the plate. That pitch swung on a high fly ball. Should be a can of corns for Chris Brito. He's underneath it, and he caught it to retire the leadoff hitter. 1 up, 1 down. So, Eric, we were talking as we went to commercial break. We're talking about that this is the first game that Eric has been here since
they were the Staten Island Yankees. Still. I came to see my friend's uncle who got drafted, Pat DeMarco, got drafted by the Yankees in 2019, I believe. Played at Vanderbilt, won the College World Series. So I came down here to see him play, and that's the last time I've been here. So I think, you said thanks to Satsugo for expanding the lead, but I think I'm in part for some thanks here. Bringing some luck to the ballpark.
Yeah, it's a home run derby, and
it is.
It's your first game here, so that's incredible. We might have to stick around, just give you a free seat every game just to sit there, even if you're not broadcasting. That pitch swung on shallow center. I can't see who fielded that. I think that was Aguilar. There was too many FerryHawks over that one.
It was Aguilar.
Yeah, absolutely. So Aguilar will field that one for the second out. So 2 up, 2 down. That brings up number 7, Wilson Garcia.
Garcia had the first home run for the Barnstormers back in his first at-bat.
2 for 2 tonight, 296, batting 296.
As I mentioned before, too, he had a home run and a double coming into this game, and now he has a home run and a double in this game. So he's 4 for 10 this series, batting .400. 2 home runs, 2 doubles. So it seems like a power bat as he grounds this one to second. Easy play, and he's retired.
That's the inning. A 1-2-3 inning for Ivan Pinheiro as he's 6 innings deep. This might be the second consecutive game in a row with a starter that goes out 7 innings. And my goodness, just a beautiful outing this far at SIUH Community Ballpark. And welcome back to SIUH Community Ballpark. We're here at the bottom of the 6th inning. That's a new pitcher for Lancaster, Garrett Grants. Checks with the ump. Did he go? He's safe. 1-0 count.
Grant, a submarine pitcher, which means not a lot of velocity, but a lot of movement we're going to see, as I noticed warming up. Gets a slider in there at 62.6 miles per hour, which is something you don't really see every day in baseball. Gets a sinker in there.
He has a bit of history with the Barnstormers. Dates back to 2019. He played in 2018. He went to the Sydney Blue Sox, but a year after, in 2019, signed with the Lancaster Barnstormers, and then left the Barnstormers to go to the Blue Sox again, and then back at the Barnstormers from 2021, and since then he stayed with the Barnstormers. So a 2-2 count, 3-2 count. It's full on Luis Castro, the Venezuelan native. He'll swing at that one. Castro's 0 for 1 tonight. Fifth pitch of the at-bat. So I know it's a new pitcher, but we want to get this guy's pitch count deep as well. That pitch swung on down the left field line, but it'll hook foul as some fans run to that one, and one lucky kid will come away with that foul ball. One of the good things about this field is you go to left field, you go to right field, you're catching a fly ball.
Mm-hmm. Zach Hampel, who was a ball hawk in the Major League community, as this one's hit to deep left field, and this one's off a foul ball off the wall.
Now, from the broadcast booth and the way that the left field wall is, it's hard to tell. You know, we can look down, but there's just that portion you can't see, so we really got to rely on the ump's call, and sometimes he calls it late.
I thought that went out for a second, and then I saw the hands go up.
So if you see the left field line is probably about 3 feet from the wall.
Yeah.
And in most ballparks, it's the line is the wall. Like, you know what I mean? Like if it. So there's just that little portion that could rip foul, and there it was. So that's a little bit of a benefit for the pitchers, I guess you could say.
It's very similar to Citi Field, as this one's driven out to right field, chasing the fielder back, and he makes the catch.
So 1 up, 1 down, but not before 8 pitches. So a nice at-bat from Luis Castro, despite getting caught out in right field. So I'd say that this ballpark is pitcher-friendly. Why? Because you have the outfield, the foul lines have about 3 to 4 feet from the wall. So if it hooks just foul as a batter, you're not getting a ball in play there. And then also the wind coming in from the harbor. It's harder for home runs. It keeps the ball at the warning track a lot, but that seems to not be affecting the FerryHawks tonight. So Jack Elliott, the Ohio native, that one swung on right into shallow right field, but that will be good enough for a base hit. Keep the inning alive, as Grants seemed to stumble there. He's going to get a second to get checked out by the trainer there. Now, I feel like the way he's pitching with that sidearm, that submarine arm, that I feel like pitchers like that are more injury prone. I'm not. Oh.
Seems like there's a malfunction with the mound. That could happen sometimes with these turf fields, definitely.
But this is interesting. I mean, what was supposed to be an injury check is the manager and the home plate ump arguing. So this is interesting. Not sure what's going on here, but the trainer is checking out Grants. Yeah, so the mound, I feel like it's weird for pitchers that pitch with that sidearm, and I don't know why, but it's just like I'd be scared to throw that way. I feel like my arm's going to snap.
It's definitely more likely, definitely more injury prone when you pitch like that, which is why we don't see it that often. But, I mean, one minus to pitching like that is that the velocity is just not there all the time.
I feel like the sidearm, too, you don't necessarily have control of the zone as you would if you're just throwing normal.
Definitely. Manager still seems upset.
It looks like they'll take out the starting pitcher. They'll take out Grants. Oh, it's Vincenzo Aiello's birthday. A Staten Island native. He's sitting in the bullpen waving to fans. He's getting up, blowing kisses to everyone. So the grounds crew just went over to check out the mound there. So a lot just happened. So we have the injury.
Now the whole sorry to interrupt you, but the whole Barnstormers team is just being waved off the field by their managers. It looks like, from my angle, the bullpen's even clearing out. The team, the dugout seems to be empty. Or I don't know if that's just my angle.
No, from here, I mean, it's hard to see with the dugout top, but it looks like they're heading back into the clubhouse, or at least going to the bench, as it might take some time to repair this mound. So a lot happened in that last play. We have a mound malfunction. We have a possible injury from the pitcher, and a bit of confrontation between the manager and the home plate ump, likely about that mound malfunction. So we'll take a quick break, and we'll recap you on what's going on here in just a few moments, but stay with us. And welcome back to SIUH Community Ballpark. We're in a bit of a stoppage here after that mound malfunction, so we're not sure exactly how long the stoppage will be, but stick around because we got a lot more baseball going, a lot of good stuff here at SIUH. Captain America's here. It's a 6-2 ball game, a home run derby for Staten Island, so there's a lot more good stuff to come. And we'll check in every now and then to update you on the situation, but for now, there's a bit of a stoppage, but stay with us. Hey, Hawk City fans, have you been out to SIUH Community Ballpark yet this season? The venue has undergone a number of upgrades that includes brand new seats, new inflatables, a new speed pitch, and the addition of local food vendors, including Kettle Black, Hobra, Flower and Oak, and the Staten Bean. Book your trip to SIUH Community Ballpark today by visiting FerryHawks.com or call 929-59-HAWKS. Again, book your trip to Staten Island University Hospital Community Park today by visiting FerryHawks.com or call 929-59-HAWKS. All right, we got an update for you here at SIUH Community Ballpark. So a little bit of a mound malfunction. They're going to repair the mound. So about a 25-minute stoppage. We'll check in every now and then, maybe give a recap of the game thus far. But for now, 25 minutes until we likely head back to the ball game. Stay with us. And welcome back to SIUH Community Ballpark. Staten Island FerryHawks are on the mound right now. They put tape over the spot on the mound. They're just clowning around until the grounds crew can get a hold of the situation. But a 6-2 ball game so far. My man Eric Rodriguez over here is going to give us a bit of a game recap in case you weren't tuned in since the first inning. So Eric.
So it's been kind of a recap of what happened last night. We talked about how the Hawks were homering last night and 3 home runs. Same thing today, 3 home runs. That's been the story of the game, really, the long ball. Brito has 2 home runs himself with 4 RBIs. The first one coming in the first inning as the pitcher was, losing command. He was walking and set up the 4-hitter, 3-run shot. Then the Barnstormers would come back. Garcia would hit a solo home run himself. Satsugo then went yard after Brito's second home run of the game, which was a solo shot, and then Satsugo went yard. That was a bomb to right center field. I thought that went into the bay. And that's what made it 6-2. And then, I'm sorry, 6-1. And then the Barnstormers would score on a triple by Carpenter. And he was able to drive in a run off of that.
So the grounds crew is on the mound right now. They're repairing. And I know that Eric told me that this is an issue that happens a lot with turf fields.
Yes, definitely. So turf mounds, what happens is when a pitcher plants that lead foot, so a righty with his left foot, a lefty with their right foot, the turf erodes sometimes, and it could cause this little patch or a little ditch. And then over time, as that little patch gets bigger and deeper, it kind of causes a pitcher to lose his control. You'll see a lot of them slip, a lot of them fall on their finishes, which is what we saw with Grant. You know, he kind of wobbled after that last pitch that he threw, which caused the meeting on the mound and all the scene that we have now.
So they're over there. They're patching up that hole, placing some new turf down. Yeah, so this is an issue that happens with turf fields, but this is the first time in SIUH history that this happened. I'm not sure if the Staten Island Yankees had a turf field. I think it was dirt.
I believe it was dirt, yes.
Yeah, but dirt itself, just to maintain that is incredibly difficult. And turf fields, you know, it's there all season. Mm-hmm. You have to make minor repairs, but this is the first time the mound will be getting repaired here at SIUH. So there was a 25-minute stoppage. We're probably about 5 to 10 minutes into that now. So looking at another 10 to 15 minutes before we get started again. But they are working fast. Gary Perrone sporting a 23 FerryHawk T-shirt. That's the ballpark manager speaking with the grounds crew, and Homer Bush, FerryHawks manager.
See, now if this was dirt, it's a lot easier to fix. If it's dirt, you just kick some sand in there, you know, put it down. But here you have to
rip up the turf.
Rip up everything, yeah.
See, this is the benefit of having a baseball player as my color. So you get to tell me your history of like turf fields, dirt fields.
I've experienced some crazy stuff. I know I'm only 16, but I've been playing for a while.
Hey, high school baseball it's not something to mess around with.
No,
it's serious.
not. It's definitely, yeah.
It's serious. I know fans are still here. They still want to see this amazing game. If I was sitting in the stands, I wouldn't be leaving either. 25 minutes, okay. It's a 6-2 ball game. This is a FerryHawks written all over this game. This is a good time to be a FerryHawk fan, to witness this home run derby of a game. A little bit of a struggle from Lancaster pitching.
It's a good birthday present for Vin Aiello. He's watching a home run derby out here.
So back to that monster home run from Yoshi Satsugo. I know we were talking about, you said that was a monster. It was definitely a no-doubter. It was 407 feet.
Wow.
And 109 exit velo. So that's crazy. Almost 110. It was 109.7. And it was a 90-mile-an-hour pitch.
You said 407 feet?
407. That's
got to be out at every
I think that's in every ballpark home run.
Except if you hit it to center field, most ballparks are 408, a little longer than that, deeper than that.
Yeah, it would have been a bit questionable if it was hit to center field, but a no-doubter, right?
Definitely.
A bit of a voice crack there. First floor of the stream, actually.
And I wonder how far it would have went if the wind was blowing the opposite way or if there was no wind at all. These guys are fighting the wind coming in from that right center wall, and they've just been putting it out there.
You want to know what his spin rate on that pitch was, too? 1,900 rotations per minute.
Wow.
That's incredible. So Yoshi Satsugo really having a, I don't want to say season yet because it's just a week with the team, but he's having himself a debut. I'll say that. Like, one hell of a debut from Yoshi Satsugo, the former major leaguer. He was with the Rays, the Rangers.
Spent some time in Japan, too, for the Yokohama Bay Stars and the Yokohama... I don't know if I'm pronouncing this... yeah, so the Yokohama Bay Stars of the Nippon Professional Baseball League.
That's a bit of a mouthful there.
Yeah.
But he's been around he's been around Japan and their leagues. He's been in the minor league systems and major league systems in the MLB, and then he comes here. I don't think he's meant for the Atlantic League, just based off of his performance. Yeah. I think he's destined for major leagues. So to have him here is incredible. I want to speak with him. I wanted to today, but I couldn't find him in the clubhouse. He was definitely doing his pregame preparations. But I want to know what he looks for in those stat packs, because like I said, it's fat. It's like there's no way you can consume all that information in the few hours you have. But he's looking for certain things in that stat pack, and it's working out for him. I mean, the other day he went 0 for 3, but that was his first bad game with the FerryHawks, and he's still batting above 300.
And not only has, you think playing in the MLB and playing in Japan in those leagues is enough, he's also played, as I'm reading here, for Leones del Escogido in the Dominican Winter League. So he's been around, he's experienced different types of baseball. He's got a lot of experience on his plate.
Yeah, and I know like major baseball fans are saying right now, sample size, sample size, sample size. And that's something I say a lot, especially with new players. They could have one hell of a start. I know Bobby Sparling started batting like in the 700s when he first started, and he's kind of taken a little bit of a backseat role since then. His average has come down to about 200. But Yoshi Satsugo, on the other hand, 4 or 5 games so far, he's shown nothing but consistency and discipline at the plate. So you could kiss that plate sample size away, because this guy is just breathes experience at the plate.
Got some Taylor Swift playing out here.
Yeah. Well, those Taylor Swift fans, I know she was at MetLife Stadium in the early summer in her Eras tour. And then Drake came here to Barclays and MSG. I actually went to see Drake, and that was incredible. Incredible. An experience that I may never get to have again. So, yeah, I dropped a decent amount on that one, but
can only imagine.
And college students, we don't have money. I went from working in high school a lot, actually, and it's all right. I could throw some money down to go to a concert, but in college, oh my goodness, you spend $10 and you're worried. So, but it was definitely worth it to go see Drake. So if you Drake or not, if you have a certain artist that you like and you're thinking about spending the money and you're worried about spending the money, it's worth it. It really is. Just to see your favorite artist perform one time in your city, just go do it. Just go have fun. Live your life.
Let me ask you a question real quick. If somebody came up to you and said, "Hey, do you want to exchange the Drake tickets for some Taylor Swift tickets?" Would you take that deal?
Absolutely not. I was thinking about going along with that one, but absolutely not. I grew up listening to Drake. I listen to Taylor Swift. She's nice. Bad Blood, that's my favorite Taylor Swift song. If that comes on the radio, I'm not turning it off. I'm not changing the channel. But Drake got passed on from my oldest brother to my middle brother, what are you, the middle child brother, whatever you want to call him, and then to me. So I've just been every day I've been listening to Drake, so that's something that I would not pass up. What about you, though?
I think I probably would. I think I'm more of a T Swift fan than a Drake fan.
Swiftie? You're a Swiftie? So back over to the mound. There's a rake, there's a shovel, there's a broom, and they're patching up the divot there. This is one interesting game, and let me just say, not just an interesting game, an interesting year. A lot has happened.
Yes.
And honestly, since the COVID pandemic, just life has gotten weird. The Yanks and the Mets, they went from being one of the 2 best teams in baseball to now being one of the worst teams.
We had one of the most exciting Subway Series last year, and now we have the most boring one.
The most boring one. I went to a Subway Series last year at Yankee Stadium, and that was electric. I went to the Subway Series with Rodon pitching at Yankee Stadium. He got the victory. It was his first victory of the season was against the Mets. But it was boring. There was nothing going on. And not to mention, I showed up to the ballpark late, and then as soon as I sat down, it took me 10 minutes to get to my seat. And I sit down, and then my girlfriend goes, "I want food." And I said, "We just sit down. It's already the 3rd inning." But I, obviously being a good boyfriend that I consider myself that I am, I got up, and I got back. It was the 5th inning. I missed out on 5 innings of baseball. All the scoring. Volpe, a beautiful play. And the Mets scored as well.
This was at Yankee Stadium?
This was at Yankee Stadium.
The lines there are crazy for food.
Yeah. Yankee Stadium is crazy with the lines. First you wanted garlic fries, so I go to the garlic fries line. I send her a photo of the line. That thing was up crazy. It was like back 3 sections. That's how deep the line was. So I said, "Can we go for regular fries?" She said, "Sure." So we got the value bucket. No, actually, hold on, time out. I'm getting passionate here because this was crazy. So I wanted to get the value bucket. It's probably the best thing you can get at Yankee Stadium. A giant bucket of chicken fingers and a giant bucket of fries. So if you go there, I don't know if Citi Field has it, but if they do,
I don't think they do.
I would get that too because I went to Citi Field actually. It's beautiful there.
They've got some good food there.
Yeah, they got good food. I think it's better than Yankee Stadium, and that's coming from a Yankees fan. But so the line was extremely long. So I go. She wouldn't come with me. It's okay. I'd rather her watch the game and me go get it. So I go to the line. I get on a different line. I wait probably about 10, 15 minutes for that value bucket, and they come back to me and they go, "Yeah, we ran out of chicken, so we can't give you the value bucket." I said, "Well, do you have fries?" And they said, "No, we don't have fries." So I ran out of chicken fingers and fries, and then I see them come out with a thing of chicken fingers and fries. I said, "But you just told me you ran out." So I had to convince them to give me that. So I got that. I paid a very decent amount for that. I come back, and neither the Yankees or Mets scored for the rest of the 3 innings. So it was an outing. I would say that, but they got the victory. But just narrowly, I could say that. So baseball for Yankees and Mets this year, all over the place.
I will say, though, I know I've been talking about how I'm a good luck charm for the FerryHawks. I'm also a good luck charm for the Mets. I've been to 2-3 games this year, and they've won all 3. One of them being up in Boston. I actually took a trip up there.
Oh,
to
that's
Fenway
awesome.
Park. It was beautiful.
I want to go to Fenway. I've never been there.
See, you're the first Yankee fan that I've heard say that, because I've known a lot of Yankee fans. I told them that, I went to Fenway Park, and they'd be like, "Yep, I never stepped foot in that place."
Well, I want to go to Fenway. I want to go to Camden Yards, and
that's beautiful. That's a beautiful ballpark too.
The only reason is I despise the Orioles. I despise the Mets. Not the Mets.
Probably.
No, let me say that. I despise the Mets when it's a Subway Series,
Yeah,
but
okay.
I'm not that toxic of a Yankees fan. If they're in the World Series and the Yankees are not, I'm not going to say I'm going to be head over heels for the Mets, but I'd rather them win than, say, the Astros or anyone in my conference if it's not the Yanks. But, yeah, so I'd rather go to I want to go to Camden Yards. I want to go to Fenway because they're historic ballparks.
Oh, it's beautiful. You got to do the tour, too. And actually, as we still wait here, so I've been going to baseball games my whole life. When I went to Fenway Park, that was the first time that I've ever experienced a rainout. And I don't know if you saw online, the people were going, making like Fenway Park a slip and slide. They were diving in the water, sliding around. I was actually at that game, and it was people up there in Baltimore saying, like, "This is the most rain we've seen ever." It was crazy. We've never seen this much rain.
Yeah, there was a lot of rain. Was that when was that? That was
the first game. I believe it was two weeks ago now.
Yeah, about 2 weeks ago. I know one of my friends was there as well. He talked about that to me. He was like, it was crazy. And they were showing videos of the stands at first.
Yeah.
There was no one in there. So I just want to know, from your perspective, because you were there, where did everyone go?
Everybody was just packed. And it's a pretty big, but there's no covering either.
Yeah.
So everybody was still getting wet no matter where you were. Like, it was very hard to find shelter. And I was with my mom, my sister, my dad. We were sitting in center field. Started drizzling. My mom and my sister, they were like, "All right, we don't want to sit in the water. We're going to go find covering." So me and my dad decided to sit there. Then all of a sudden it became like a Where's Waldo? We had to try to find everybody.
That's crazy. It's like getting onto a ferry in New York City in rush hour. You lose everyone that you come with. It's crazy. If you come to New York City and you want to experience the ferry, best not come in that 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock hour. That's rush hour. You do not want to be on the ferry at that time. Good luck finding a seat.
Yeah.
Good luck even getting on the ferry. You might have to wait for the next one. But
or the one after that.
Or yeah. So I work at WABC radio, and a lot of times I'll come from the radio station to here, and I come rush hour. So I get there. Sometimes I'll get there for the 4 o'clock one and have to wait. Sometimes I'll have to even wait for a 5 o'clock ferry. But usually I get there for the 4:20 express ferry. It usually comes every 30 minutes, but at that 4:20 hour, they know we need to get more boats in, and they get me in usually. So I get here in the nick of time sometimes. So just get lucky with the timing. But anyways, I'm reluctant to admit this as a Yankees fan, but my first MLB game ever was a Mets-Pirates game.
Very nice.
And I saw the Mets win. And I think that was when Frazier was with the Mets, and his walk-up song was "Fly Me to the Moon."
Oh, wow. We're talking about a while ago.
Yeah.
Good old Todd Frazier.
Yeah. That was a while ago, yeah. Almost 10 years ago, maybe.
Around a little bit less.
Yeah, almost. 6, 7.
Yeah.
Probably around there.
So have you been to any other stadiums besides Yankee Stadium and Citi Field?
No, I have not yet. Major league-wise, actually, I have not gone to.
You got to go to there's some big-time ballparks out there. I'll let you know. I've been to both LA teams, the Dodgers and the Angels, Colorado, San Diego.
Wow.
San Diego is a beautiful ballpark. And then we got the whole NL East, so the Mets, Braves, Phillies, Nationals. I haven't been to the Marlins yet. That's on the bucket list.
Yeah.
And then the Yankees, Red Sox, and the Orioles. So almost the whole East, minus 3 teams.
Wow.
But there's some beautiful ballparks out there.
So 2 ballparks that I plan on going to. I was supposed to go to the Marlins, but that just didn't work out. So I plan on going there again. Well, not again, going there.
Mm-hmm.
And I go to Syracuse University, so that's up there pretty much 2.5 hours maybe away from Canada. And I want to stay in Toronto and then go to the Blue Jays because they have a beautiful stadium as well. I think they have the stadium with the hotel.
They are, yes.
Yeah.
And I think it's left field or maybe right field. But I'm definitely dying to not just go to see the Blue Jays, but just to go up in Toronto in general. I heard it's a beautiful city up there.
Absolutely. That's on my bucket list, especially when I'm at Syracuse, to go to Niagara Falls, experience Canada, and then experience the Blue Jays, hopefully Yankees game as well. Then my girlfriend goes to Penn State, so I think we're going to go to a Pirates game.
I'm dying to go there too, PNC Park.
Yeah.
I want to just see the bridge in the outfield. And I heard
that's one of the. I was going to say that before when we were talking about views. That's one of my favorite views, and I haven't even gone there.
Yeah.
I just said, it's funny to tell you, the first time I've ever seen the Pittsburgh Pirates ballpark view, was when I was playing MLB The Show.
Yeah, I was going to say, every time I go to MLB The Show, and I have to pick the stadium I'm playing in, I will most likely pick San Francisco as my go-to.
So yeah, that's like my bucket list of stadiums to go to. And then, like I said, I do want to go to Camden and then Fenway. It's just, I don't know, the summer I work a lot, especially because we're in a competitive industry. We want to work so much to climb the ladder that I barely get to make it to a Yankees or Mets game. And I like to go to Mets games because it's a ballpark in New York. I just want to experience MLB baseball. It doesn't always have to be about your team all the time.
Right.
If you have the opportunity to experience a different, it's baseball stadiums. It's not just baseball. There's a whole bunch that goes into it as well.
It's the atmosphere. It's the other fans. I'll let you. I'll tell you this right now. The reason I've been to all these ballparks is my aunt lives out in California, so we went to go visit her. My dad was like, "Hey, you want to just check out these ballparks? She's right by. We were near Dodger Stadium. We were near Angel Stadium. So
that's what I want to go to.
You want to just go to these ballparks?" And I was like, "Sure." And I kind of made it a thing with my dad. Something we have. We just travel.
That's awesome.
Wherever we are, if we're by a ballpark, we'll go to a game, even if it's just for 3 innings. And I'll get a hat to show like I was at this stadium. So, you know, the Fenway Park game, it got rained down in the fourth, but that was like the greatest game I've ever. It was like the greatest experience I've ever had at a ballpark, even though it was only 4 innings.
Definitely, it's like I said, it's really all about the experience. Not just about baseball. You know, when you're watching it through the TV, I will never watch like I'll never usually be like, oh, let me turn on the Mets game.
Yeah.
Because I want to watch my team through the TV. When I have the opportunity to go to a Mets game, I will, because the Citi Field experience is awesome. I love when they homer and the apple comes up. That was my first home run experience in any major league stadium, was with the apple coming up.
And that's another thing, like, you know, the Mets play, Yankees play at Fenway Park. You know, you see the Green Monster on TV, but when you're there, it's, oh my God.
It's really the Green Monster.
No, but like, not even just the Green Monster. Just when you when I walked into that stadium for the first time, it was just like an amazing feeling. I don't know what, like, I can't describe it, but it was just like breathtaking, and the stadium was just so much different, like, in person than it is on a screen.
I really want to go to Fenway when Stanton is still on the Yankees, because he just rakes balls over the Green Monster like it's nothing at Fenway. So that's I can't imagine the atmosphere when something like that happens. It's just got to be crazy. Oh, it's the Nick Beardsley cam. This guy's a clown, but in a good way. I mean, he comes here, he pitches, and then he has a good time. It's awesome. He has his own cam. It started like this week, just messing around when it just accidentally went on him one time, and he took it and ran with it. I actually won't be surprised if, when the Savannah Bananas come, he goes on the bus with them as a Savannah Banana, because he's just got the talent for it. He's an entertainer.
You think I could grow out a mustache like him?
You know, that's a mustache that you don't see anymore. It's like a handlebar mustache. Just go for it, man. I want to talk to him now that you say that, just to like his routine. Like, how does he maintain a mustache?
I want to know how long it takes, because I've tried a few weeks to go a few weeks without shaving, and now he's doing Gangnam Style in the dugout. Now he's got some of his teammates dancing as well.
Yeah, he's a good guy to have in the dugout. He's not necessarily the star pitcher that we would love him to be, but you know, he gets the job done on the mound. But he'll come to the dugout, and if it's a bad game's happening, he'll make sure that his teammates stay focused with just his personality, man. It definitely, I think it helps the team out in a way.
Every team needs a guy like that in their dugout. Not even just in the dugout. Any sport, you know, hockey, baseball, basketball, football, soccer, any team sport, you need a guy that's going to be there and, you know, keep the team spirits up through any moment.
Absolutely. So 6:05. Not exactly an update on the mound situation, but it looks like the patch is covered. They're doing the final improvements on the mound. 6-4 ball game. Staten Island on top in this one. 6-2 rather. Home run Hawks tonight. Brito, 2 homers. Satsugo, a homer. Pretty packed stadium. So I guess I'll take this time to talk about yesterday. Yesterday was Italian Heritage Night. That's probably one of the best nights here at the ballpark. We do Italian Heritage Month night, Irish Heritage Night, Jewish Heritage Night. We're very centered around culture at this ballpark, and I love that idea, just to be able to bring the Staten Island community together and celebrate everyone's faith, everyone's culture. It just tells us who we are here at SIUH and Staten Island. But being the alias that Staten Island is, it's also known as Staten, Italy. So a large majority of Staten Island is Italian. And that's probably why it's the most successful night at SIUH Community Ballpark. They sport new jerseys. They become the Gabagools. So if you're ever in the area, for those that are listening that are not necessarily Staten Island fans, but in the surrounding areas, check out SIUH if you're in the area during Italian Heritage Night, Jewish Heritage Night, Irish Heritage Night. I'm sure there's more. I just can't really remember it at this moment. But those special events are probably the best experiences you can have in the ballpark. I'm fighting for Bark in the Park night. That's something I've been fighting for a while. It's definitely hard to do, but I want to talk to the ownership about that because that would be a great addition to the ballpark. But anyways, yesterday they had their Gabagool jerseys on. They had Italian flags all over the dugouts. And every time a FerryHawk hit a homer, they had the spoon, like a giant wooden spoon.
I saw that on Instagram.
Aguilar homered in the first, and I saw him waving it around. So honestly, I think we should keep the spoon because that 3 different FerryHawks homered. So that was crazy. One of the very successful days for Staten Island. And then today, Captain America is at the ballpark. He made an appearance in the beginning of the game, and then he's been going around the stadium. I haven't seen him anytime soon, though, but he's here. Or maybe he went on a mission with the Avengers. Who knows? Maybe Thanos is back. And then next week, as we were talking about, 2 sold-out Banana Bowl games. First time that the Bananas are coming to SIUH, and hopefully it becomes a tradition because I remember during COVID when I first discovered their TikTok, they were the funniest thing. I would always go to them probably every day to watch their TikToks and the funny stuff that they do. So it's definitely entertaining.
I'm a little bummed out that they're sold out. I didn't get a chance to.
Yeah. They sold out pretty fast. I think on the first day too. So I guess Staten Island knows about Savannah Banana. I thought they were like almost, I don't want to say underground, but not that well known. But
yeah, I mentioned them to my dad. I was like last year when I found out that they were coming to Staten Island, I was like, Dad, you know, these guys, the Savannah Bananas, they're coming to Staten Island. He's like, yeah, I know. I was like, what?
Wait, can I tell? Let me jump in on that. I called my dad. He goes, oh, we're having a get-together at my cousin's house. Well, my mom said that. We're having a get-together at your cousin's house on July 12th. And I said, ooh, not only am I broadcasting the FerryHawks game then, but the Savannah Bananas are here, and I can't miss that. I'm sorry. And then my mom goes, well, what the heck is a Savannah Banana? And then my dad goes, I think I'm going to stay home, and I'm going to come with Mike to the Savannah Banana games. So it's concerning. Why does my dad know about the Savannah Bananas? And then more importantly, why is he on TikTok?
I don't even know. My dad doesn't even have TikTok, so I'm curious to find out how he found out.
Yeah, the Savannah Bananas, they got some great marketing team. Let me tell you that.
Did you see, I think it was last week or maybe the week before, the fan that caught the ball to end the game?
Oh, I didn't know that.
So, yeah, so a rule.
That's a crazy rule, actually.
Banana ball is foul balls can be caught by fans, and they are recorded as an out. And for the first time ever, I believe it was the first time ever, there was a foul ball hit, and a fan caught it in the 9th inning with 2 outs. So the fan won the game. The Bananas brought him onto the field. Everybody was celebrating. It was a great moment.
Wow. So I'm going to actually pull up the rules here for those of you that are coming so we could realize what we're getting ourselves into, because there's a lot of wacky rules here that you could help out the Savannah Bananas or the FerryHawks win. So here we go. So, and I can't find the rules now. It's popped up as a blank page. So I'm going to pull up that. In the meantime, enjoy the music. I mean, there's some nice music. Let me raise that for you guys. Little Miley Cyrus. Okay, so I pulled up the rules here. Let me lower the music so you can hear this. So it says every inning counts. The team that scores the most run in an inning gets a point. So it's not like you can score 8 runs in the first inning and you have an 8 on the scoreboard. You only get 1 point that inning if you win. So it's pretty much inning by inning you get a point depending on who scored the more runs in that inning.
Interesting. So it's kind of like boxing. We got to win rounds.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it, actually, except it's baseball, but you get that same concept of, winning each round. So the team that scores the most runs in an inning gets a point. The first team to 5 point wins. There's a time limit of 2 hours, so everyone likes that. Baseball sometimes could get a little long. Exhibit A, this FerryHawks game, have a mound malfunction. We're doing the best to keep you guys entertained, get some information to you guys. So there's a time limit of 2 hours. No inning starts after the game gets to that point. There's a tiebreaker format if the game is tied when that happens, and we'll get to that in a bit. But there's no stepping out of the batter's box. If a batter steps away from the box at any point, it's a strike. There's no bunting allowed. Batters can steal first base. So if there's a wild pitch or a passed ball during any at-bat, the batter can go to first. You cannot walk. If a pitcher throws a fourth ball, the batter takes off towards first base in a sprint. The catcher then has to throw that ball around to every defensive player on the field before that ball becomes live. The hitter is allowed to advance to as many bases as possible before the ball becomes live. The ball does not have to touch the pitcher or catcher. So I'm going to read that one again because that's a bit confusing. So there's no walks allowed. If a pitcher throws a fourth ball, that batter has to run to first base at a sprint. The catcher, once he gets the ball, has to throw it to each player on the field before that ball becomes live and they could try and catch the batter out. And that runner can advance to as much bases before that ball is live. So that's interesting. I can't wait to see how that goes. So a one-on-one showdown tiebreaker. So if at the end of 2 hours, if the game is tied, you have a one-on-one. So if the game is tied when time's up, each team picks a pitcher and a hitter to face off, with the defensive team only having a catcher and pitcher in the field. If a hitter puts it in play, he has to make it home to get a point before the pitcher gets the ball and throws it to the catcher. If the pitcher gets a strikeout or throws the runner out before scoring, there is no point for the hitting team. The first team to prevent the other from scoring wins. So it sounds like it's kind of like a pitcher's poison.
So yeah, seems like.
There's no mound visits allowed from a player or coach. If a fan catches the ball, as we were saying before, it's an out. So bring your glove to SIUH.
I want to see if the MLB will just go one season with these rules. What would happen?
That would be very more entertaining, but kind of be an extreme from baseball.
Controversial.
Yeah, definitely. I know that the Red Sox, I think, are trying to sign a contract with the Bananas to have them perform at Fenway next year.
That would be awesome.
So that would be cool. That would be the first time they play in a major league stadium. So let's talk about that tiebreaker rule here. If it comes down to a tiebreaker, what's the one player that we want at the plate? Now let's talk about some players here. We have Chris Brito, 2 home runs in this, 2 home runs here. He's perfect at the plate so far today. 2 homers and a walk. And then we have Yoshi Satsugo. He hits a home run. It's a monster home run no matter what. He's got a lot of power, a lot of plate discipline as well. Deep at bats. Then we have Jack Elliott, the home run leader for the team, and the RBI leader as well. But he does strike out a lot. So let's break those down. 3 guys that are possibly there. If you want to throw anyone in the mix as well.
Well, I'm looking at both lineups here. I'm looking at the FerryHawks specifically, and honestly, the first 4 batters of this FerryHawks lineup have impressed me today, and I think you can't go wrong with either one of those 4. But I think if I had to pick one guy, probably be Satsugo. His at-bats have been very long. He's got a great eye, and he's had some nice pieces of contact throughout this game.
Exactly. 5 homers in his first week as a FerryHawk. So, I don't know. I'm still kind of torn between him and Brito. Brito also has a decent amount of homers, but he's been with the team a little longer. He's a power hitter. He hit 2 no-doubters, but I think Satsugo's the guy to go to because of the plate discipline.
And his experience, too. I mean, he's seen all different types of pitching, all different parts of the world. I think he's my he's my go-to guy. Absolutely.
So that Banana Bowl is Friday the 11th and Saturday the 12th. So, and the 12th is a doubleheader. It's the Banana Bowl and the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs, which Staten Island will also face off against. So again, a 6-2 bowl game. Staten Island's on top. We're going to take a quick break here. We'll be back in just a few minutes as they make the final repairs to the mound. All right. Well, welcome back to SIUH. I guess you could say this is good news, but the pitching coach Dalton, he is on the mound right now, testing it out, as Crochachi, one of the starting pitchers for Staten Island, is in socks as he traded cleats with the pitching coach. So he went to test out the mound. Looks like the transformation of repairing it is complete, which means we might be getting back here. No official word, though, so I don't want to make any promises, but looks like a lot of progress has been made. The mound looks beautiful, hopefully. At least it looks like a mound should look. I do know that the game would not get, it wouldn't be called an official game, even though we're this late into the game. We're 6 innings deep, but I believe the only way that the game will be called if it was a weather delay. I know that in other stadiums there was a bunch of malfunctions with light fixtures being out or too bright, and the game did not get canceled, but it got suspended. So that's probably the last thing that both teams wants is a suspended game, because that means that the game will have to be replayed later in the season. And I think the next available spot, at least I was talking with Lancaster's broadcaster, we're trying to get to the bottom of the situation, would be September 5th or 6th. And that's kind of far for just a one-game rubber match.
And it seems like there's still an issue, at least for the Lancaster manager. There's still a part that's loose.
Listen, if I'm Lancaster, I don't think I want to argue. I think I want to get this game over with. They got a long trip back. They also have another away game. We got a long trip to High Point, so we don't want this game to be even longer than it has to be.
His main concern is that it's not necessarily the pitch, but sometimes pitchers fall off. And
he's definitely concerned about the safety.
Yeah.
I mean, at least every manager would be. I know the home plate ump was on the phone, likely with the league, and then both managers went over and started arguing with him. So a lot is going down. I wish I had it. One of them was mic'd up so we can hear what's going on. But yeah, so a 25-minute delay turned out to be a little over an hour, or approaching an hour rather. So if you're listening still, thank you for tuning in and sticking with us. We're trying to get to the bottom of this situation and bring you guys the rest of the ball game. So we ask you to hold on just a few more minutes. If you're cooking your dinner, keep us on in your background. Maybe you're in your backyard and your pool. Keep us on in the background. I mean, despite the mound being dismantled, it's been an amazing game.
It has. Speaking of dinner, Sunday dinner tonight.
Sunday,
we had
so
Italian night last night. Sunday.
I'm big.
Hopefully something good is on the table tonight. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
So here's the thing. There's a battle on Staten Island. They call it Sunday sauce or Sunday gravy. Now, what's your take on it? Which one is it?
Sunday sauce.
Sunday sauce.
Sunday sauce.
Sunday sauce. I'm a big Sunday sauce guy.
Gravy is what you put on your turkey.
Damn straight. Damn straight. I almost like want to vomit when I hear Sunday gravy. Yeah, gravy's the stuff that I'll put on turkey Thanksgiving. So.
Or French fries. That's also a good thing.
What's it called? Poutine. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I had that the first time this year, actually, in Syracuse. I went to a restaurant with my girlfriend called the York, I think. And they had an amazing poutine dish.
That's on the top of my bucket list, foods to try.
Yeah.
Not only am I a ballpark enthusiast, but I'm also a food enthusiast.
Absolutely. Who's not? I mean, if you don't like food, then probably not living anymore because you need food to survive. But, oh, the Farrell Bat Boy. Wow, Farrell is all over the stadium.
Andrew Kay, he's one of those teammates. Remember I talked about teammates that keep the spirits up. He's one of them. He's a very competitive guy and always make sure everybody's happy.
I met him when I was at Farrell. My senior year, I met him, and yeah, I could tell he's one of those guys.
Very, very great.
Always smiling.
Yep.
Good energy.
And he's a good pitcher, too. He's very crafty. Lefty.
Again, not to make it all about Farrell, but my senior year, remember Casey Gilman?
I do, yes.
Pitched. Was it a no-hitter he pitched?
He did.
Or was it combined? It
was. I believe it was just him.
Wow. He's over at Princeton now. He's pitching for them, so love to see him, make his way to the majors, or maybe he'll be a FerryHawk. Who knows? And this is our second season as an organization, so we're still fairly new, but we've seen baseball in Staten Island. Local baseball has been a thing here for years. I mean, this ballpark is historic in St. George. St. George as a whole actually is historic, with the St. George Theater, the ballpark, and then Richmond Town, historic Richmond Town. I know it's not necessarily close to here, but a lot of history on Staten Island. For those tuning in, the first time the Declaration of Independence was read was to British troops, was on Newdorp Lane in Staten Island.
Wow.
Yeah, I could riddle off a bunch of random facts. Right where Farrell was in Oakwood, I think was where the British held their troops. It was like a massive amount of troops was in that area. Anyways, well, the communications director came in here, so he was giving us an update. Still not really sure, but is that Gary Perrone? The ballpark manager is currently raking out the mound right now, so I think that's funny. I guess that he really cares about the ballpark. He's willing to get down and dirty to make sure that everything's in good condition here. But anyways, back to the history of Staten Island. The Conference House. Pretty much at the tip of the South Shore, that was very big in the Revolutionary War, as I think Benjamin Franklin and someone else went to the Conference House to meet with a British commander to talk about, a potential compromise over at the Conference House. So a lot of history on Staten Island, and then New York as a whole as well. And then if we look to our left at New Jersey, it's where Alexander Hamilton had his duel, and that's where he died. City was the first capital of the United States. I'm a bit of a history nerd, I guess, if you can't tell by now.
I was going to say, you should look into that.
Yeah, if you're in college and you need filler classes, and you're passionate about your country, take a U.S. history class, or take a class that has to do with, if you're from a different country, take a class that has to do with that. Learn about your country's history. Learn about foreign policies. Like, that's actually some interesting things, to be able to have that opportunity to learn more about your country or just the world history in general. It's interesting. Could be a lot of work, a lot of essay writing, but if you like that too, I guess jump on that. All right, they're testing out the mound again. So I ran over to the mic when I saw the pitching coach test it out, because I thought this was it. But maybe it wasn't.
Gotta say, a little side note, this music's been
Yeah,
amazing.
we play good music here. I think that's DJ Drew in the, yeah, it is. I went over there and I saw it.
Well, whoever it is better be here every time.
Yeah, DJ Drew is here a lot, and then he's in the booth right now, in the production booth. He's there a lot, but then there's some games where he actually brings his setup, and he'll DJ with all his turntables, his speakers, his audio equipment, and that's even better than it is right now, because he has free range to show his talent. But he does a lot. He plays awesome sound bites here. one thing about SIUH is you come here, you're going to laugh because we like, I don't want to say we bully the opposing teams, but we mess around with them with the walk-up songs. All right, here we are. So that's some good news from Armand, the PA announcer. He got the word that we're here. We're returning to the ball game. It's the bottom of the 6th inning. There's one out. I couldn't have told you that was the case if I didn't just look up at the scoreboard because it's been a while. I forgot what's going on. I don't even remember who got out, but someone did. I lost my place in the lineup here through the course of the hour. So 6-2 ball game, bottom of the 6th inning. I think it was the first batter got out. And
I believe we have Quaybor at the plate.
All right. Okay, so we're just going to get started in the next few minutes as pitchers will be warming up again, and Lancaster will take the field. So just stay with us. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back for the first pitch.